Hello, my name is Julie. Welcome to my channel. You're watching Treasures Made from Yarn. And this video, my temperature knitted blanket is done. Actually, for that matter, so is my scarf. So this is the crochet temperature scarf. So that is completely done too. So, but actually this video is more about the knitted temperature blanket. So to show you more, a closer look at the blanket, here is a separate video. Alright, my temperature blanket for 2023 is finally done. And it's huge. It has turned out pretty huge. It doesn't even fit. We have a king size bed. Well, it fits one way and it's much wider the other way. So if I were to do this again, heaven forbid, I don't think I'm going to do this again. I think I will when I make the individual blankets, I will make them less than 100 stitches. Probably, maybe even only half that. Maybe 75, but anyway, that I have no plans of doing another knitted temperature blanket anytime soon. So, but I thought I'd start out. This is December's. Right here, the square is December's blanket. That is done. And you know, I kind of like, I ran out of the yellow and I ran out of the purple. And I wasn't going to buy anymore. So I think I showed you in one of the other videos that this is the Temu yellow. And the purple, I was kind of hoping it wouldn't hit the 40s, but it did. And that is the purple that I had gotten from Temu. So it is what it is. I wasn't going to make this. I knew this blanket wasn't going to be perfect. Speaking of not perfect, as we know, I was not expecting, I rather had the tops line up than the bottom. So my bottom panels don't line up at all. But that's okay. Again, that's okay. That is quite okay. Gives it character. So anyway, I got right. I'm going to move the blanket around in a minute. So obviously on top over here, that's obviously October blanket. And then we have November's blanket. And then December's. And so I have those 4 panels just to show how big it is. And then we go back. Yeah, back. That is my shortest panel, which was July, August, and September. So I think my July turned out to be the smallest. I don't know, either that or maybe that month that didn't have as many, all the stitches they used for that month might have been only maybe 4 rows or less, or either that or I went too crazy on, I don't know if you can see that I was using multiple days. I think I went too crazy, and sometimes I'll just do a couple days in a row for one row, and I think that showed in my blanket. Okay, so those are 2. I'm going to shift over my blanket some more, and then we'll show the first 6 months of the blanket. And there is my first 6 months, January, February, March, and April, May, and June. And to my surprise at that time, my 2 panels actually lined up perfectly. I was kind of hoping that the whole year worked out that way, but obviously it didn't. So yeah, we see all the color changes. Obviously that January up here was first. Last January we were on a cruise. That's why we see very warm temperatures in January to the blanket. So here we are. As you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's the first 6 months practically almost took up the whole bed. Like 3/4 of the bed is the first 2 months. So yeah, this is pretty huge. Alright, there is the blanket squarely on the bed. So obviously the first 3 months and the last 3 months hang over the side pretty well. But yeah, I think like I just now noticed, it's not as long. Actually, it's a pretty good size. We'll call it vertically. Yeah, vertically, but much bigger horizontally. So again, if I by chance do this again, we'll make the blankets the start, I had 100 stitches as a starting blanket. I'll probably go down a little more. That's if I do this again. Like I said, I plan on making this again anytime soon. So there it is in all its glory. My temperature blanket for 2023. Well, for reference, the blanket here is the one I did in 2013. This was which was the year after, well, actually, I got the calendar in 2012 of Christmas, so this is, I was like, hey, I was gonna make a big blanket with every day, and I put all this, and I made them into squares. Well, I could tell you that the beginning of the months is somewhere on the beginning, in the middle, and then all the later months are on the outside. So, out of curiosity, I want to see which blanket was bigger, and the temperature blanket is definitely bigger. And I always thought 2013's blanket was big. So, yeah, the 2013 blanket was just scrap yarn made into squares. I didn't do the temperature. Obviously, I don't think I knew it was a thing then, so. Oh, there. I almost kind of I didn't think I was going to like doing the squares again, but I think I actually liked the squares I did 10 years ago. I think I like that better. So, I'm so glad that that temperature blanket is done. So probably to recap things that I have learned with doing the year-long knitted temperature blanket is actually probably reinforced probably my knitting skills, especially the purl stitch. If I know I'll link the video. I did a how I knit video early on, like I would say it might be almost 2 years ago now, where I did the purl stitch different. I self-taught myself to knit, so I did the purl stitch differently. And doing this temperature blanket, actually, I got comfortable doing the purl stitch, probably like it's supposed to. If I was doing straight up stockinette stitch, I would probably knit the way I had self-taught myself. But learning if you're doing different stitches and different patterns, that it is probably better that I had probably properly learned the knit and purl stitch, how it was supposed to be done. With that said, I'm still more comfortable doing crochet than knitting. My glasses. Okay. Other things I pulled out of this project, I think I already mentioned in the last video that there's no plans in the very, very near future to redo that blanket. Maybe 10 years from now, I might tackle a 20-year anniversary knitted. If I do a temperature blanket again, I did 100 stitches to start the blanket. And I think I'll go down to 50 to 75 because if you've probably seen the video, my blanket was way wider than it was tall. So I'll probably shorten up the blanket. That's if you decide to tackle a knitted temperature blanket. But yeah, I'm just glad it's done. I'm just so glad it's done. So what's the future plans for this blanket? Well, right now, I got it folded and tucked next to the blanket I did 10 years ago. And I hope that every so often it's going to come out and I will display this blanket. Because it did, my husband even thought it was cool. But for now, it's folded and tucked away. But at least I can look at it. It's a spot where I can at least see it every day. Well, that was it. I hope you guys, this is the new year. Hope you have a happy new year. A lot of stuff coming up in 2024. I already did a video of what plans I did to include doing another, actually I'm going to do, this was the knitted scarf, it's the crochet temperature scarf, which was, I like how it turned out. And it wasn't that much extra time during the day to do that. And I hope you check out that video. Actually, what I'm going to do, I think I'll show again, is that I'm going to do the chevron stitch. And this is just the border this is the border color, and I need to put on the first yet, which I'm excited about, but that is for another video. So, thank God that the blanket, again, that was a little bit overwhelming, but not too bad. I think if I were to reprise it 20 years ago, I might go back to what I did before, and that was make little squares and then attach all the little squares together. But yeah, we're done. We're done with that now. If I was to pull out stuff from the calendar again, I might occasionally look at the calendar, maybe pick out my favorite stitches, and maybe make washcloths with that. We might do that on YouTube. But all right, enough babbling by me. If you did like this video, please get a like. Want to see more content like this? Please subscribe to my channel. I want to thank you always for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye now.